Hello everyone, it's Jordan James, host of Good Deeds Buffalo. We're live here with Leah Angel Daniel, and with she's actually the founder of Fostering Greatness, Inc., which is a 501c3 nonprofit here in Buffalo.
Yes.
Tell everyone what Fostering Greatness, Inc. is, Leah.
Okay, yes, so again, thank you, Jordan, for having me. And yes, Fostering Greatness, Inc. is a 501c3 organization, a grassroots organization that assists foster care youth, young adults, and alumni, especially those of color who are transitioning out or have transitioned out of foster care.
Okay.
So if you know anything about foster care youth, they are a very vulnerable, underserved, and undervalued, population. And a lot of times when they leave the foster care system, either at the age of 18 or in between the ages of 18 and 21, they're able to stay until 21 in New York State.
Okay.
Most of the time they do not have the proper resources in order to go from survival mode to thriving mode.
Right, because for many of them, they went from foster care to foster care, so there's just no foundation to learn and to prosper. So your organization is going to give them, hopefully, the resources to get through that. I wanted to ask, when did you start Fostering Greatness?
So Fostering Greatness was established in 2018, and we became a 501c3 organization in 2019.
Okay, so 2019.
Yes.
When did the idea of this powerful organization come to your mind?
Well, for full disclosure, I am an alumni of foster care, and so helping the youth in the system has always been a goal of mine. So I've done mentoring, I've worked in the foster care industry, I even fostered, I had custody of my younger brothers.
Okay.
And so just really trying to see the system in general, and systemically and systematically, there's issues, know, and so I wanted to see what I could do.
What you could do to change that.
Yes, and so a lot of times alumni have more of an authentic and intentional relationship with youth that are in care, and youth that are in care trust them more than the social workers. And so
now is that because they've gone through it and they've experienced something similar to what they're going through?
And they see somebody else who's not going to sugarcoat things for them, who is not going to get anything from having a relationship with them, and really just seeing is believing. So when they see a lot of the alumni who are successful, who have gone through the system and can help them navigate, the resources that are available before they leave the system, they really want access to that.
Yeah, and you're right, seeing is believing. Seeing somebody like you doing what you want to do just shows you it's possible. Even for myself, being a gay man, I didn't think gay people could be on TV, and here we are.
Right.
And obviously we had people like Ellen and Anderson Cooper, but we're just so far in between, you just don't know. Right. And we said before, when you just don't know, you
don't know.
And it's one of those things that I'm so glad you took the time to step back and say, what can I do to try and change these systematical errors or challenges?
Yes.
What things have you done in the past since you've started to try to push for those changes or help our community?
Yes, so programmatically, I've developed some programs as far as for going beyond the service of independent living. So a lot of times when youth are in care, they experience a lot of trauma. And I teach about the makeup of the adolescent brain and what happens when they're exposed to trauma.
Okay.
And there's a lot of adultification that happens when youth are in care. So they may look older than what their actual age is, and so people perceive that they should know more because they do look older or they're a certain age. So teaching about that, teaching about resiliency and how people who work with foster care youth can bring that out of them. And then the other part is making sure that they know that youth who are in care need access, opportunity, and community support. And what does that mean? Access to different things that are in the community, and them knowing that they can utilize those things, and then the opportunity to take advantage of it. What do they need? A GED, a high school diploma, some type of certification, and then community support, so that when they do leave the system, that they're able to navigate things on their own, and they know where to go to for different resources that they need in order to go again from survival mode to thriving mode.
Yeah, I think that's such a pivotal program to have.
Yes.
Let me ask you, have you seen other programs similar to yours, or is this something really unique to our area that you're seeing? It's really I think it's filling a hole here in Western New York.
Yes, there's nothing like Fostering Greatness. There are some programs for youth that are in care, but again, they just are at the surface level. It's nothing that dives deep down into, the different issues or adversity that youth and care may face, and especially once they're leaving the system. There's a slogan that alumni use: once you're grown, you're on your own. So basically, once you leave the system, there's nobody there. There's no support system. There's no lifeline. But just looking at the statistical information that if a youth is connected to at least one caring and consistent adult, they can make their lives better.
They certainly can.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think just having one support system, or one person in your support system, but then the whole group fostering greatness is certainly helpful. Let me ask you this. What is one thing you've seen be the most challenging thing to change, if you will, here in the system that we have?
Well, a lot of people don't know much about foster care. And when I used to tell people that I was in the foster care system, they would say, you don't look like you were in foster care. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? And so there's that negative connotation when we talk about youth that are in care, that basically they're violent, they're druggies, or they're all of these negative things, and that's not true.
Right, no.
And so again, the hardest thing for me is basically when talking about fostering greatness and talking about the foster care system, just really helping people change their perspective of what the system is and the youth that are there, and that they're not just these bad youth that are there.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't aware people had these negative connotations still, but that doesn't surprise me, and I'm glad that you're willing to take the time to try and break down those barriers. Even with me, with my nonprofit, Blood is Blood, and pushing for the gay rights that I pushed for, my whole thing was just saying someone has to speak up, and it might as well be me, and you're doing that because you had the real life experience of being in foster care. Let me ask you this too. What would be while going through foster care, what did you miss most, or what would you have needed most to help you be more successful? Now being an adult and learning some more skills and finding that information.
Well, when I first was in foster care, it was not a good experience for me. From the age of coming into foster care at the age of 11, and then I aged out at the age of 21. But it wasn't until I met a couple of mentors, but it was this one particular woman, Miss Washington, and I met her when I was 15, and she kept saying, you had that it factor. And I'm like, what is she talking about? This woman, what is the it factor? And so a lot of adults saw things in me that I did not see in myself, and they helped to foster my greatness.
Okay.
They helped me to just navigate life and to be a teenager and to make mistakes, and then come back and say, okay, now that has happened, what do you think we're going to do next, or what do you want to do next? It wasn't like they were like, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, you shouldn't have done that, because they know that life has a lot of transition.
Yeah.
And especially being in care, when you don't have that mother or father there with you, actually living with you to help set the foundation for your growth pattern, or to just say what path to go down, or you don't have really any examples of where you want to go. You see what you don't want to be, but nothing of what you want to do.
Be.
Yes.
Yeah. Or what steps you need to take to get there.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was a lot of trial and error for me growing up.
Yeah, and I think when I first watched your video, I showed it on the show previously, I really resonated with the fact that you said you were going to use your past to motivate you almost. You were going to use it to motivate you to do something better. Because we all go through trials and tribulations, we really do.
Right.
But it's what you're going to do with that that's going to be the dream. That's going to be the change maker. And I seen that. You just have a beautiful soul that grabbed onto that.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking the time to join us here on Facebook Live. I just wanted to double check to see if we have any comments. I don't know what time we have, but I know we're good there.
Yes.
Let me ask you, I thought we might get some questions for some viewers, but you never know. Getting some likes, that's for sure.
Yes.
And so Casimiro Rodriguez, we had talked about him.
Yes.
How did you guys get connected?
So actually,
previously, yeah.
Cass and I are from the original cohort of the Oshai Leaders of Color. And Cass has been phenomenal, just being a role model and just seeing all the work that he has done in the community, and just really him showing up. So he has done a lot. He's doing a lot.
And he has done a lot.
Yes. And so just him sharing his journey. And, you know, for us who are younger than him, we have to hear those stories. It motivates us. And then him being supportive. So,
and you had shared with me, like, well, one situation being in foster care, not seeing somebody like you being successful.
Yes.
Because Muriel is one of those people who was very successful.
Absolutely.
We just didn't see it, and now we do. And Kez's heart is just amazing. His love for the people in Western New York is wonderful. In fact, Kez, he commented when I posted that we were going to have you on here, and he was cheering for you. So that is wonderful.
That's him. That's him all day. Yes.
Yeah. So was there anything else you wanted to share with anybody on Facebook? Maybe you wanted to talk about maybe some events coming up. I know the new year is coming for everybody.
Yes.
Maybe some new exciting events or.
Well, Fostering Greatness Inc., we are really establishing ourselves in the community. And not only do we do the programmatic things, but we're actually working on our housing part as far as transitional housing for foster care alumni as they transition out, and those who may not want to live on their own right now, but still giving them the opportunity to become the great adults that they're going to be and the successful citizens, you know, in the city, but just helping them and giving them that extra push. So we are going to have something huge in May. May is Foster Care Awareness Month. And so we want to focus on the system in general, so not just, you know, the youth that are in care, but those social workers who are doing the hard work, the CASA members, those who are representing youth who are in court, and then those who are the alumni who are out here doing great things, and we want the youth who are currently in care to see them and what they're doing. Our website, www.fosteringgreatnessinc, that's inc.org. You're able to see what we have done. We did a homelessness awareness month fundraiser for youth who had been contacting me, who did not have a place to go during this winter. You know, in Buffalo, these winters are cold.
They are cold.
And so we were
that's why we mentioned it on the show. We knew that people need this support, and you were able to provide that. How did that event turn out?
It went great. We were able to house 22 foster care youth in hotels, or either give them money for their if they were for their rent, so things like that. We are in partnership with Home Housing Opportunities Made Equal, and we will be currently working with M&T Bank as far as for financial awareness for foster care youth and young adults. So that's where you can find us, and we are on Instagram, Facebook, that's Fostering Greatness Inc., INC. And if you would like to donate, there is the donate button on our website, which is through GiveBox. We have PayPal, and you can contact me personally through Leah Angel on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And my number, 716-228-3824.
Yes, absolutely. And you're right, you know, we might have been able to do this. This is my first Facebook Live here on the Good Deeds Buffalo show, so I appreciate the feedback, certainly. And I appreciate you taking the time, Leah, to come out and share your story with everybody on Facebook and me. You can make sure to watch Good Deeds Buffalo. We're going to be back to our normal schedule this Saturday at 11 a.m. That's Channel 5 or 67.1 over the air, and online. You can find us Facebook, YouTube, and even Instagram TV. So make sure to stay tuned. We're going to highlight some other change makers here in the new year. But before we go, I just want to make sure that I take the time to thank Leah the proper way and honor her as the Good Deeds Buffalo honoree of 2021.
Thank you, Jordan.
You are so welcome.
I appreciate it.
So here, this is for you. It's going to be backwards for those folks at home, but we'll post a picture of the plaque right in the comments, and we appreciate your support this new year, and thank you again.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. And before we go again, what was the website if they want to reach out?
Yes, www.fosteringgreatnessinc, that's inc.org.
All right, wonderful. Thank you guys for your support, and we'll talk soon. Remember, hate is in the moment, love is forever.